Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for a webinar about the online testing platform. My name is Julia Fermier, and I'm a program specialist here at the Scripps National Spelling Bee. I've been a part of what we call the Bee team, which is a full-time staff at the Spelling Bee, for over 3 years now. And I'm here in Cincinnati, Ohio, where the Bee and our parent company, the EW Scripps Company, is headquartered. Now, back in September, we hosted a webinar about your school Spelling Bee program, and we're going to build off that today by walking through the online testing platform. If you joined us for that webinar, welcome back, and thanks for choosing to spend another afternoon with us. If you haven't seen that one yet, no worries. You can find it in our YouTube channel, and it will also be available within the teacher portal. Now, one more thing before we start, you should see a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, so please feel free to leave questions whenever you have them. We will hopefully have time at the end for me to answer some of your questions live, but I'm also very grateful to have members of the Bee's customer service team helping me out today, and they're ready to answer your questions throughout the presentation as well. So let's get started. Well, actually, before we get any further, let's talk a moment about what the online testing platform actually is. The OTP, as we like to call it, is a tool for educators that the Bee developed in 2020. We need teachers needed a way to host safe and secure spelling bees during the pandemic. It's included as part of your school's enrollment in a Scripps National Spelling Bee program, and we continue to get great feedback from educators that it's a useful tool to have. The goal of the online testing platform is to help provide even greater flexibility for your school's spelling bee program by allowing you to use online tests to determine both classroom and school spelling bee champions. No matter the circumstances in your area, like if you're engaging in remote learning or some sort of hybrid, you can make the spelling bee work for you. We think the Bee is an important rite of passage for students and a great recognition opportunity, especially as we continue to move forward in a more versatile and accessible learning environment for all students. Now, if you're still trying to decide how to structure your school spelling bee program, no problem. I'd encourage you to watch the recording of our previous webinar to hear about the 3 ways you could host a bee at your school and learn some of the ways that you can structure your program. But for now, let's get into the OTP. So give me 1 second, everybody, and I'm going to share my screen. So to start off, we are going to want to log into your school's account. So give me 1 second, everybody, to do that. And okay, so welcome to the teacher portal. In the previous webinar, we talked through most of the items you see here in the left-hand menu, but today we're going to focus on the online testing platform. Now I'm going to dig into these 3 options we see here at the top of the screen: access, how to, and email templates. Now first, we're on the access page, and this is how you're going to be able to create an account in the OTP. We'll cover this more in a minute. In the how-to section, this is where you can find handy PDF documents and YouTube videos for both coordinators, teachers, and parents regarding the OTP and its use. And email templates. If and when the time comes that you need to email your students about the OTP, we have handy templates already written out that you just need to enter in your school's name and test information. We also have them available in Spanish for your convenience. Now let's go back to the OTP. In order to start creating tests for your students, you need to first create an account. Now, this is important. The only way to create an account at the teacher level, which will give you access to making tests in the OTP, is through the teacher portal at spellingbee.com and by clicking this link here. If you visit the OTP itself and create an account there, it will be a student account instead of a teacher account. Now, if you found you've accidentally made the wrong type of account, no worries, just reach out to us at spellingbee.com/contact and we can make it right for you. Additionally, your account at spellingbee.com, which gets you into your teacher portal here, is totally separate from your account within the online testing platform. And accounts in the OTP do not roll over year after year. So if you had an account last year, but you have not created one yet this year, you will need to do so. Now, this goes for students and their accounts as well. But first, let's make our account. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to take me to the OTP. Now, you'll have to confirm that your school is enrolled using the zip code associated with your school's location. So let me enter in my zip code here, which is 95646. Okay, you will see a list of all the enrolled schools in your zip code pop up. Now, if you don't see your school, click the back button here just to make sure you entered in the zip code correctly. So I'm going to click my school, and now I'm going to enter in all my information. Give me 1 second, everybody. And let's make my password, make sure I'm spelling it correctly. And I am going to click register to make my account. Now that I've registered my account, I could click login, and let's log into my account. And I entered in the wrong password, which is kind of funny. Oh goodness, give me 1 second, everybody. Oh, that's right, I made it. The world of spelling. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, now for security reasons, we do have two-factor authentication for teacher accounts. So once you log in, you will be automatically sent a verification code to your email. The verification code will be valid for 5 minutes, and it will always be different, so you don't need to save them once you've used them. Also, be sure to check your spam or junk folders to see if the email arrived there by accident. And if you do not receive the verification code within 5 minutes, please reach out to spellingbee.com/contact for assistance. Another step is to reach out to your school's IT or district administrators for them to whitelist our 2 domains, which are spellingbee.com and online-test, that's spellingbee.com. And right on time, my verification code email just came in. So give me 1 second again. Let's see, it's 379633. Let's click submit. And I am in the online testing platform. Okay, so we're going to do a quick tour before we jump into creating a test. Now, first things first, we are on the tests page here. Now, this is where you're going to see all the tests that have been created or will be created for your school. Additionally, if there's more than one teacher creating tests for your school, you'll see their tests here as well. We'll go into what all this means a little later. Now, let's click students. Under students, you will see a list of all the students that have created an account in the OTP so far. Now, remember, to assign a test to a student in the OTP, they need to have an account. Next option we have is templates. Now, these are all the communication templates that are also available within the teacher portal. For convenience, we like to have them in multiple spots for you to access. However, if you need them in Spanish, those are available within the teacher portal only. Now, it's important to remember that the online testing platform will be sending out a few emails for you automatically. It will send an email to a student's account when a student has been assigned to a test, an email when the test opens, if it wasn't open already when the student was assigned to the test, and an email 1 day before the test window closes if the student has already taken it. Now let's think of it this way. Let's say that you create a test that opens on Friday and you assign a student to the test on Monday. That means that on that Monday, the student will get an email saying they've been assigned to a test. They'll also get an email on Friday letting them know that the test that they've been assigned to has been opened. And let's say in this example that the test closes on Wednesday, but Tuesday rolls around and the student hasn't yet taken the test. This means that on Tuesday, the student will get one final email from the OTP informing them that the test is still open and they have one final day to take it. And then this is all done automatically, so there's nothing you have to worry about. The final option we have here is resources. You can find all of the OTP guides located here for your reference, along with a PDF copy of the Integrity Pledge as needed. Now let's go back to the test and let's see one final thing before we go to create our own test, which is the sample test. We include this just so you have an idea of what the OTP actually looks at. And we could click this here, and this is the basic layout of what your students will see. They'll see all the information for all of the words, along with being able to click an audio button in the top left to hear the words pronounced by either Dr. Jacques Bailey or the Bee's own content manager, Maggie Lorenz.
Message.
It's so cool. So actually, I am going to go back here and let's actually create our own test. So I'm going to click Create Test. Now you'll see two options here, to create the test yourself or to assign the test creation duties. If you have more than one teacher or staff member at your school looking to use the OTP, this is an easy way to help them create accounts. When you click Assign It, which I will do now, the box will show up where you enter in their name, email, your name, and also some basic information about the type of test you'd like them to create. Now, this information is by no means set in stone, so they don't actually have to set up a test exactly as what you request it to be. And once you select Assign, their journey will begin with an email that was automatically sent from our system. The email will include instructions for registering an account in the online testing platform, a video tutorial about the platform, and details about the test that you will create. And then once they get around to creating their test, they'll need to click the link in the email. And they'll go through the same registration process that we walked through earlier, confirming the school and filling in their information. They'll also have the same security protocols of two-factor authentication each time they log in. But for now, let's make our own test. So I'm going to click back and I'll do it. And let's walk through everything that we see here. The first thing we see here is Bee recommended settings, which I'll go over these in a minute. But first, the title. So let's call this test Julia's second grade spelling test. And the next option we have is description. Now, this is an opportunity for you to give a little more information to your spellers. This is where you would put, for example, how many spelling questions, how many vocabulary questions, and also the dates that the test is going to be open. Now, we're getting into the actual test itself. The online testing platform has been designed in a way that makes it very turnkey. We want you to be able to set it up and forget about it, which means that all of the words, vocabulary questions, audio pronunciations from either Dr. Bailey or Maggie Lorenz are all contained within the online testing platform itself. No need for you to do any necessary work. So the next option we have is spelling question type, which is either type in the word or multiple choice. Now, this really depends on your students, so we recommend multiple choice for younger grades and type in the word for older students. Since this is a second grade test, I'm going to keep it at multiple choice. Next is type of test. Now you have two options, classroom/grade level and school level. For classroom/grade level, you choose a grade level for the test content, and the student should then study that grade level study list. For the school level, the test will be made up of a selection of grade levels, and the students should study the 2024 School Spelling Bee study list. So I am going to choose classroom/grade, and I'm going to select grade level 2. Now let's go over the options for the questions for this test, which means spelling and vocabulary. All the words on the test, unless otherwise specified, which I'll go over in a minute, will be from that specific level study list. Each section, meaning spelling and vocabulary, are available in counts of 5, up to 25 each. So the maximum number of spelling questions you could have in a test, for example, is 25. This is also true for word meaning questions. And we do encourage you to use word meaning or vocabulary questions on your test. It is an important part of our program. We've used vocabulary at the national level since 2012, and I know that many of you typically use some kind of written vocabulary test as part of your program. We also encourage it for your online tests because we find that it's a great way to differentiate scores and keep you from having to use any kind of tiebreaker. Now, this actually gets into the B recommended settings that we see at the top. Now, this is just test settings that we recommend. There you're no way required to use them. So if you click it, it actually sets the number of spelling questions to 15 and vocabulary to 10. And it also, actually, never mind. So it sets the spelling questions to 15 and a number of vocabulary questions to 10. And now we get to choose an option of include unstudied words on your test. Now, unstudied words are words that do not appear in any of our official study lists for the year. For either level, if you want to have 50 questions, you'll have to include unstudied words. It will add 5 spelling and 5 vocabulary words that are not studied. We recommend using words that aren't found in our study lists, not only because it will help you from needing to do a tiebreaker, but also it's more authentic to the spelling bee experience. For our tests set to the B recommended settings, if I were to select include words not on the study list, that means out of the 15 spelling questions, 10 will be studied and 5 will be unstudied. For the vocabulary, it will be 5 studied and 5 unstudied. Another option I want to go over is timed test. So if we click this, that gives me a duration in minutes I could give my students to take their test. We normally recommend for a 50 question test around 30 minutes. So for my 25 question test, I'm going to say 20 minutes. And we do recommend that you include a timer on your test as part of our 3-pronged approach to test integrity. The first being a time limit. The second is the integrity pledge that all students must acknowledge before they take the test. And if you would like a PDF copy of the integrity pledge, it is available under the resources tab. And our third prong is that we do recommend a test monitor be in the room when the student takes a test. Now, this could be like a teacher or a parent. And some schools and regional partners have also used teleconferencing software such as Zoom or Google Meet to monitor spellers while they take a test. And speaking of integrity, we have disabled spell check for the online testing platform. Now, another option we have is show score upon test submission. This means that when a student completes her test, they will be able to see their score, for example, 15 out of 25. Now, they won't be able to see the words that they got correct or incorrect. That information is available in the score report, which does not appear for parents until after the test window has closed. That's just another piece of test integrity. And finally, the last option is the test window. This is when your test will be available for students to take. We recommend that you give at least a Monday to Friday window to allow all students the opportunity to take the test. but you're welcome to make it an entire week or 2 weeks, whatever works best for your program. Now note that you do not have the option to specify when the test opens, meaning that on the day that your test is set to open, like for mine, which is, let's say, October 13th, that's bad luck. Let's say for October 16th, that my test will open at 12:01 a.m. on the 16th. That also means it will close on the day it is set to close on 11:59 p.m. that day, which for my test, let's say is the 20th. So then the final thing we do is just go over your test and make sure everything is as you like it. So let's see, I could add to my description that this is a 15 spelling question test and let's do a spelling test with 15 spelling questions and 10 vocabulary questions. And if everything else looks good, let's show test score upon submission. We clicked create test. Now, upon creating our test, we will see our test will show up under the test list, and we have some new options here: manage spellers, view test, delete, and update. Let's briefly go through these together. Under manage spellers, this is where you will be able to assign spellers to your test. To do so, let's click add speller, and let's assign Harry Styles to this test. Now, as students complete the test, their scores will populate here. When the test taking time is done, you'll be able to download a CSV report of your student's score on the test as well. Moving back, you will also see view test. This will allow you to look at the words in the test, what the exact question is, and for multiple choice questions, what the correct option is. And you could also hear the words.
Feast.
So that was pronounced by Maggie Lawrence. Let's see.
Smaller.
And that was Dr. Bailey. That was so convenient. Okay. The next thing that you see is the delete button. And the delete button is there in case you need to delete your test. Upon clicking it, the system will require you to type in the word delete just as a security precaution, just to make sure you really want to delete your test. And finally, the update button. Now, you will only see this for as long as your test has not opened, because if you click it, we can see it takes you back to that test creation page where you could edit any of the details for your test. Now, once the test has started, the only thing you will be able to do is extend the end date for your test. This is done in case a student is, for whatever reason, unable to take the test within the original test taking period. So now we could go back. And you know what? Let's see what the student sees when they log into their account. Now, students don't have the two-factor verification process that teachers do, so they should have an easier time logging into their accounts. So I'm going to go up here and click log out. And let's log into Harry Styles account. Okay, now let's do a quick tour of what students see. Students will see their parents' initials in the top right corner. From there, this parent will be able to update the student's profile, like, for example, if they enter the student's name wrong or the grade incorrectly. And they'll also be able to add a second student to the profile if they have more than one student in their family. To access the test, students will need to click their name from the left-hand menu. Look, so we could click that, and we could see that Harry Styles has been assigned to my second grade spelling test, and he'll be able to take the test starting on October 16th. Now, let's talk quickly about study resources for your students. All study lists can be found within the teacher portal at spellingbee.com under the Classroom Spelling Bee or School Spelling Bee sections. And again, our study app, the Word Club app, is entirely free to use. Students are welcome to download it either in the Apple App Store or Google Play to study both spelling and vocabulary questions. The app is available for use on smartphones and tablets, but is not available on desktop at this time. And now, that's the OTP. Now, I know that was a lot of information, so thanks for sticking with me. We're going to set aside the next 10 minutes or so to answer your questions now. So if you have a question about the OTP, feel free to ask it using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We are all good. And if you think of any questions after this is over, you are always welcome to reach out to us at spellingbee.com/contact. We are always there as a resource for you and for your students to answer any questions they have throughout the year, whether it's regard to the online testing platform and any other questions they have regarding to the Spelling Bee program as a whole. So I am going to wait just a couple more seconds just to make sure nothing else is coming through. Otherwise, we might be done early today, which is always exciting. Couple more seconds. Okay. We haven't had any questions, so I think that we are good today. So I want to thank everybody for joining us and for spending your time with me this afternoon. And again, you're always welcome to reach out to the Bee's customer service team at spellingbee.com/contact. That is the best way to reach out to us, and our team responds to all inquiries within 24 hours during the school week. And you'll always be able to rewatch this webinar. It will also be available within the teacher portal and also on our YouTube channel as well. Now, before we finish up, I do want to say thank you for myself and the entire team here at the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Our program wouldn't be the same without the tireless work of you and so many educators at your schools. And we hope resources like the online testing platform make it even easier to bring the spelling bee to your students. We so appreciate your support. And thank you again for sharing your afternoon with me. And take care, everybody. See you soon.